Welcome back to Nutty Education, and on this episode I want to finally, just once and for all, put to rest why feminism is a hoax, why it shouldn't exist, and why it is just all complete bullshit and nonsense. So feminists, they paint this picture, they have this idea that females in the world, all over the world, are oppressed and underpaid. That's what the movement is about. They want to be equal, they don't want to be oppressed no more, and they want to be paid the same. That is the goal of feminism. Now, both of those things are complete nonsense. Let's start with oppression. There is only one country where females are genuinely, legitimately oppressed, and that is Saudi Arabia. In that country, I don't know what is wrong with the government, not the citizens, the government. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what era they're living in, but they are actually oppressed in that country. But leaving Saudi aside, let's think of the rest of the world. Females all in the rest of the world are not oppressed. They are not. There is not some massive oppression and hatred going on to this whole gender worldwide like the feminists want you to believe. That is not the case. You don't go in the street and just see females getting fucked up. That is not happening. In fact, I would argue the opposite. I would argue females are not only oppressed, but they are boosted, they are privileged. Their egos are sky high because they are so used to being privileged. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's say I went on Instagram and I went on a pretty girl's Insta. Go to the comments of a pretty girl. Go on Insta right now, find a pretty girl, go to the comments and tell me what you see. A pretty girl's comments under one of her selfies, they are completely bombarded with heart eyes emojis, with compliments, with thirsty comments from thirsty boys. This is what a attractive female's Instagram looks like. They're all filled with these heart eyes comments, these thirsty comments, these compliments. Literally, they get DMs, they get messages, they are told they're beautiful every day, multiple times a day. Are you actually gonna sit here and tell me that an attractive girl is not told at least 4 or 5 times a day by 4 or 5 different people that she's beautiful or she's gorgeous? Attractive girls, they are told constantly how beautiful they are. And it's not just online. In real life, when you see a pretty girl walking down the street, you can bet your ass that someone's gonna try to hit on her, someone's gonna compliment her. It happens to pretty girls. Attractive girls, they are not oppressed and their ego is to the moon. That goes for both digital and real life. Furthermore, females are always treated like the prize that us men have to earn. Think about the last time you were trying to talk to a girl, trying to date a girl, trying to get a girl to go out with you, and you're on that talking stage. Isn't it us boys that always have to chase after the girl and always have to try win over the girl? It's never the girl that has to win us over. We always have to win them over. And there's this whole checklist of things that we must have. We have to be good looking, we have to be 6 foot tall, we have to have a good job, a car, a house. We have to have all these things for a girl to consider going out with us. But all a girl has to have, good looking, has a vagina, and that's it. So girls are always treated like this prize that us boys we have to earn them. They don't have to earn us. Then we have all these stupid relationship quotes and all these breakup quotes. Have you ever noticed that in all the breakup quotes that you see, it is always, 100% of the time, it is always the man, the boy, who is portrayed as the villain, as the bad guy, and it's always the girl, the female, that's portrayed as the victim. In all these breakup quotes, it's always boy is the bad guy, girl is the victim. That is how all of these breakup quotes go. That is their template. There is never a breakup quote where it's the boy who's been done dirty and the boy that's been hurt. No, it is always girls who are victims of the monsters that are men. And you might think, oh, it's only a meme, but it is all breakup quotes. I don't think I've ever seen a single one where boys are the victim. And that creates a mindset that men are just trash, that men are monsters, and girls are all victims and oppressed. And just like the bullshit of feminism, it's not true. Girls are not always the victim, and they're not always oppressed. And they just paint us to be these monsters. And as a result of all that bollocks, we have all this female empowerment movements, we have all this International Women's Day, an entire day dedicated just to bumlick women. We have all these stupid movements and bollocks trying to lift up and empower women when they are already complimented as fuck. They are already treated like the prize that we gotta earn. They are already portrayed as the victims while we're trashed on. They are not oppressed. It is bullshit. Now let's talk about underpaid, the so-called female wage gap, the gender wage gap. Is that real? Is that even a thing? Is there some huge gap where females are paid so much under than what a man is paid? Does this giant gap even exist? No, it fucking doesn't. Understand this one thing. You see this pie chart, you see this wage gap comparison. It is never ever is it gonna be a perfect 50-50 ratio. It will never be 50% man, 50% woman, exactly the same. It's always gonna be slightly more to one side, slightly more to the other side. 50-50 ratio, you can throw that expectation out the window. That's a dumb expectation to have. It's never gonna be a perfect 50-50. That's the first thing. And the second thing, are you really gonna sit here and tell me that for all jobs, for all lines of work, we're all paying men more than women? That is not how the real world is. In every single bit of employment, in every different industry, in every different line of work, people are always paid for if they're the most qualified, if they're the best at that job. Employers don't look, oh, is this a man? We have to hire him. Is this a woman? We have to hire him. It doesn't work like that. People employ you based on if you're more intelligent, if you're better suited for that job. This whole females aren't hired because they're females, that is bollocks. That is a lie. It's a straight up lie. That's not how the world is. It's propaganda. The world don't work like that. These statistics, they're bullshit. They're just trying to push this feminism onto us when that ain't the case. The world ain't like that. I don't know what you want me to say. Oh, and that reminds me, this whole 50-50 getting paid the same. Think about gender roles. It is usually the case where when a man takes you out on a date, it's the man that takes you out on a date. It's the man that pays for dinner. It's a man that pays for the date. If you both live together, it's usually the man that pays the bills, whilst the woman just looks after the house and keeps everything in order at home. It's the man that goes out and earns the money to pay for all the expenses. Now, if we're both going to get paid the same, if females and males get equal salary, that means no more gender roles, no more females being privileged. If we're getting paid the same, why should the man pay your bills, pay for dates, take you out for dinner? That is all out the window if we're going to get paid the same. But that shouldn't be a problem anyway, because we do get paid the same. This whole thing, this whole oppression, underpaid, it's all bollocks. See, you feminists, you want to keep those gender roles. You still want men to take you out for dinner, to pay for dates, but you want to now get paid the same as them, whilst they still have to keep the tradition of paying for all your dates and meals and dinners and bills. See, those two things can't coexist. You're doing selective equality. You're picking and choosing what parts of equality you want. You want equal pay, but you still want the men to take you out on all these meals and dates. You want to pick and choose different parts of equality that suit you best. Getting paid more, that fits your bill, but having a man no longer take you out on dates, that don't fit your agenda no more. So you pick and choose the certain parts of equality that you like best, and you leave out the other bits. Selective equality. And selective equality is not true, genuine equality. But anyway, how many females nowadays are getting paid millions and millions, getting paid even more than men? Look at Brie Larson and Captain Marvel compared to Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. You can see that there's no pay gap. Girls are paid pretty much the same as men. And I know that's just one case, I know that's just comparing famous people, but even regular people with ordinary 9-to-5 jobs, as I said, they are paid based on who's better suited for the job. What else can I say? Females, they're not oppressed, they're not underpaid. If anything, they're privileged. Because let's think about all the things girls get just for being girls. Apart from getting taken out on dinner, taken out on dates, getting their bills paid for them. Think about nightclubs, there's a whole thing to talk about there. All these free entries to nightclubs, cheaper prices. Have you ever seen, I don't know, £10 for a man to get in, but girls, £5. Girls, they have all these benefits, all these privileges, but feminism, it misses out all of them. It doesn't talk about all the privileges they get just for being born a girl, but then all the negatives, it highlights all that. There is no reason for feminism to exist. It is just a bullshit, lying movement. It's misleading. It's not an accurate representation of reality. As I said, girls are not underpaid. They're not oppressed, with the exception of Saudi Arabia. I'm done. That's all I've got to say. Nutty Jun out. Peace, bitch.